We call these Email Marketing 101. In this class, we'll be talking about the basics of email marketing. By the end of this class, you will understand the basics of email marketing, all the parts that comes together to talk about, to make email marketing important. What part does email marketing play in the whole multi-channel engagement? And you'll be able to set up a simple campaign with a simple email marketing campaign. But before I proceed, I'd like to introduce myself, tell you about my background, my education, and my skills. Basically, my name is Olabisi Tai Oshagbemi. Some colleagues call me Shakira. They're all my names, and I'm fine with you calling me any one of the names. So my experience has been, I have over 7 years of experience in marketing and sales. My experience has basically been in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry. And I also, on the side, I've been consulting for small businesses, helping them to ramp up their digital marketing skills, helping them to understand how to generate more leads, basically using email marketing, social media campaigns, and also social media advertising. Okay. By way of education and training, I have a certificate in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing. I also have myriad of certifications from Google in ad search, Google Analytics, fundamentals. I'm inbound certified by HubSpot and a host of others. And I have experience in different spheres of digital marketing. But I specifically find email marketing and content strategy very fascinating. I would say my core strength really is in the overall digital strategy and content strategy with particular details in what channel best suits what message. Okay, that said, so let's proceed. During this training, we'll be following this outline. I'll be telling you why email. How does email fit into the overall multi-channel engagement? Why would a company choose email as a channel for its digital strategy, digital marketing, whether the company is trying to achieve authority in the industry, nurture leads, improve customer loyalty, and all the different objectives that could come with marketing strategy. We'll talk about why companies choose email and juxtapose in terms of numbers, the fact behind email as a channel versus other channels like social media. After that, we'll talk about the primary element of an email. And in talking about the primary element of an email, we'll talk about the importance of each element and how you should pay attention to each of the elements and how they work together to ensure deliverability and ensure that you get quite a good ROI on your campaign. Then we'll talk about the different types of email. After that, we'll talk about the different types of email campaigns. And we'll also mention some examples of the email marketing softwares, the differences, the advantages they offer versus each other. And after that, we'll talk about setting up an email campaign, the basics, what you need to do to set up an email campaign. And once we're done with that, we'll proceed to do a demo, setting up an email campaign using Constant Contact so that you can have a hands-on experience and understand how to set up a campaign. After that, we'll look at the regulations and compliance relating to email campaign. You will agree with me that the amount of data, personal data that we share with the world everywhere, whether you're signing up for to get some free stuff from a company, you're signing up to download a software, whatever, however we're doing it, we're sharing a lot of information. So there are global bodies that have come together to do to talk about how can we ensure that companies or organizations are using people's data in the right way and the ways that they have consented to, and how can you comply as a marketer, as an email marketing specialist or a digital marketer that is in charge of email marketing, how can you comply with all these regulations? We'll talk about that. And the next thing we'll talk about after that is measurement. There's no point of doing a campaign, whether email campaign or any other campaign, if you cannot measure like what is the impact of this campaign and how is it helping me, how is it adding or helping me to deliver on my overall strategy. Next, I will suggest some additional reading which will help to improve your knowledge of email marketing and digital marketing as a whole. Lastly, I'll give some homework, which of course is not compulsory, but doing the homework will help you gain knowledge. You will learn to actually do the campaign by doing it yourself. And I'll be sharing my contact and my email address. If you have any questions, you can send it to me there. So let's proceed. Via email marketing. Okay. So we have what we call the multi-channel engagement strategy, and which is a cross of the promotional strategy within the overall global marketing strategy. What do you mean by multi-channel engagement strategy? You see companies, let's pick a company, for instance, Walmart. On social media, Walmart interacts with you. Walmart also sends you emails, which includes newsletter, which includes triggered emails, which includes your receipt of your purchases. When you enter the store, you also see the overall presence of the Walmart branding and all of that. So this is the combination of all these is what is called multi-channel engagement strategy. This is a form in which you use different channels to engage your customers at different touch points. And this whole multi-channel engagement strategy has to sync in a way that the message is the same and similar, like a single-minded message that the customer can see, can understand that what does the company stand for, irrespective of what channel you are engaging them on. Okay. How does email fit into this overall strategy? The nature of email allows for you to communicate in a more like consistent manner and like chronological manner with a customer, whether a prospect, an existing customer, or a lost customer, in different ways that helps to deliver the messages within a multi-channel engagement in a more like synchronous manner. Also, the second reason I say a lot of companies choose email marketing is my like favorite reason. Email marketing is done over open platform with different email marketing software and different ESPs, that's email service providers. People use different email service providers. For me, I have email on Google, I have Yahoo, I have Outlook, I have iCloud, name it. And some people have like almost account with almost all of them. When we now compare these to, let's say, YouTube as a channel for engaging your customer, YouTube can change one thing in its algorithm in one day that will significantly change or disrupt your overall content delivery strategy. Let's say you have a 1 month, 3 months content delivery strategy planned out that involves YouTube. And there's a change in the algorithm that's significantly disrupted how your customers are going to see your content. What would this cost? This will cost you to re-strategize, re-evaluate how you want to deliver this content. The same with social media. Let's look at Instagram. I'll give an example. Recently, Instagram changed its algorithm in such a way that you cannot really see the number of likes on a post. Before then, most people sell almost their influencer status based on, can you go check my last post, the number of likes I have. I typically, on similar things like your brand, I typically have like 3,000 likes on this kind of post. It's almost like difficult right now to see those amount of likes. They claim that they are removing this so that it will remove pressure from people that are socializing on social media. But what impact would this make on you as a brand that's already put all your content, social media content strategy around the existing algorithm before that change was made? You would have to sit down, reimagine what you're sharing and how you are sharing it and how you will measure it. The same goes for almost all social media platforms. Twitter can change something in its algorithm. If today Twitter says, oh, we're no longer doing 280 words per tweet anymore, we want to go back to our existing, our former 140 characters in a tweet, how does that affect the content that you have developed and automated over the next, let's say, 1 week? You will reimagine it. However, email is not like that. Email is not controlled by a single company. It's almost impossible to see that Google, Yahoo, Hotmail, iCloud, all of them will make the same change on their platform on a single day that will significantly affect your content, except that change was mandated by some new global regulatory compliance, which is very unlikely. But you get my point. It gives you more ownership. Email marketing gives you like more ownership, helps you to drive more traffic to your website, to your business, helps you to communicate in almost like an uninterrupted version with your customers. Okay. Next, a survey that was done in 2017 revealed that 43% of consumers prefer to hear weekly from companies they love. The key word here is love. Do your customers love you? That would depend on, one, the frequency of what you share with them, the relevance of what you share with them. How relevant is it to the people? How useful do they consider the information you share with them? And that takes me to my next point of why email. 43% of consumers as well find email marketing emails useful. So if your customer actually find the content you're sharing with them via email useful, the probability that they will always look forward to your email and they would read your email when it comes in is very high. I'll give an example. Yesterday, I received an email from PMI, Project Management Institute, informing and saying that people can now write their PMP exams from home. When I read that email, I found it useful, even though I am PMP certified already and I'm not looking forward to write another PMP exam. But I have several people, I have friends, people that I'm associated with that are looking forward to writing the exam. I quickly took a screenshot of the email and forwarded it to my friends, people that I knew that would find this useful yesterday. So that's an example of a situation where consumers actually look forward to reading emails from you. You share relevant things with them and they find your marketing emails useful. In that instance, PMI actually did it as a promotional email to improve because of all this lockdown and the global pandemic. I'm sure the number of people signing up to write the exam has significantly gotten down. But by them moving this exam online, there's bound to be an informing people and the network effect of, like they informed me, I informed people that don't get PMI emails and they in turn inform people that are intending to do the PMP. Will produce like an effect that will increase the amount of people signing up to do the exam. Okay. And now my next favorite reason for choosing email marketing, it has the lowest cost of acquisition, my people. When we talk about cost of acquisition, how much do you have to spend on a campaign on different channels to bring a certain amount of customers? Divided by that number of customers gives you the amount it costs to acquire one customer. Email marketing has the lowest cost of acquisition. Should we talk about the fact that it's actually relatively affordable to sign up on EMS? And when we get to that part, we'll talk about how some of them even have free versions that are free forever for startups and for people that just started in using email marketing. So basically, you can almost do email marketing for free. Once you can, there are even free tools that you can use for designs and for, basically, all you have to do is come up with the best of content. So I hope with this, you know why email marketing, for a lot of companies find email marketing as a favorite channel for engaging with their customers. So now we want to talk about the primary elements of an email. Once we go through all these primary elements of an email, I would also open an email on my computer and we'll look at these different elements and look at how it plays based on like my explanation on these individual elements. When you're setting up an email, the first thing is the sender's address. So the sender's address, it is very important that this sender's address is recognizable. What do I mean? Let it be very easy to link this sender's address to your brand. I will always advise that the sender's address should come from your domain. If you do not have a domain, you're just starting in email marketing, you're a startup, it should have an address that is very closely linked. Let me say, even if you're using a Gmail account, for instance, and you are a caterer and the name of your company is We Sell Food. Let it come from something that sounds like We Sell Food Toronto or We Sell Food Lagos at gmail.com. So once someone sees the sender address, it's very easy for them to relate it to your brand. It improves the probability that someone would actually open the email. When we're looking at an example of an email, I will tell you about the Blink test. So the next is reply to address. This is not always applicable. This is mostly applicable when you're sending emails that are like autoresponder or you're sending email from a sender's address that is a no reply address, but you want to get responses from people that you're sending it to, or you envisage that people might want to reply your email. So you have to include a reply to address where people can actually send a reply to. Or maybe you're sending an email from an overall, maybe global business account, and you want replies to go to specific employees based on the geographical location of the receiver. You can put the reply to address and you can even put different reply to address depending on the email marketing software you're using, and segment your audience by geographical location. We'll talk about subscribers list later on. The next will be your receiver's address. This, of course, is coming from your subscribers list, and we'll talk later about building your subscribers list. The next element is very crucial, very important, and I will tell you why. That's the pretext / preview. And this contains all the way from the pre-header, which is the first thing you see and as an email drop, whether on your desktop or on your mobile. Then next, subject line and the preview text. The preview text is the part of the email that shows up before the receiver even opens the email. And this is so important. First, the best practices is to keep your subject line below 50 characters. Because in the preview, your subject line shares space with the preview text. So if your subject line is too long, they will not even get to see your preview text. That's one. Two, you need to also design your subject line in a way that is fully visible on mobile. 80% of people viewing emails today are viewing it on their mobile devices, whether on their phone, on their iPhones, on their Android phones, on their tabs, different kinds of mobile devices. People are even deciding from their smartwatch, from the preview they see on their smartwatch, whether the email is worthy of being opened or not. So it is very important that you keep this very short and concise, and it has to make a complete sense and has to have actionable keywords that links and helps the reader to know what the email is about. The next, we'll talk about the email copy. Within the email copy, you have the personalization, the salutation. Hi, do you want to include the name? Depends on the nature of the email and how mature your CRM system, your email, your subscribers list, and the amount of details you have in your subscribers list. Next, CTA. This is call to action. You'll see I wrote where applicable, but I will always advise that most of your emails, except it's a transactional email, most of your emails have a sort of call to action. I'll talk about this when we talk about measurement and how this call to action improves your measurement. And when you're doing a call to action, make sure that your email copy is written in a way, whether or not you have a call to action, your email copy is written in a way that you segment the body of the email. You don't just write a long copy. You itemize it in a way that different paragraphs are simple, short, convey one single message, and it's easy to comprehend. And the CTA is distinct, easy to recognize. Then the last part is the footer. This contains the legal details, the address, and the unsubscribe link. When we get to compliance and regulations, we'll talk about how important this footer is and the amount of details that needs to be in it. So now let's look at the primary elements of an email. I'm going to be sharing with you my Gmail account, and we're going to be looking in the promotion folder and looking at the emails, comparing the different promotional emails and looking at their subject line, how it appears in Gmail versus the pre-header text, and how we decide to open emails. Sometimes as receivers, all of us consumers of email marketing, we make these decisions within like a fraction of a second by just scanning through this. So let's do this. Okay. Okay. Now that we're sharing this, I hope this is very visible. So we can see promotional emails. I have promotional emails from Zoom, Fiverr, Canva, Fiverr, Canva, well, it's obvious that I do a lot of designs, meetings, emails. Okay, so look at it. You see the first one is from Zoom. Welcome to Zoom. The part that is bolded is the subject line, while the other part constitutes your preview. If you look at it and see, compare the welcome to Zoom email to, let's say, this Fiverr email. This Fiverr email has a longer subject line, which reduces the amount of pretext I can see. However, it is still long enough, concise enough for me to understand and know what this email is about from the subject line and the preview text. So now let's open one of the email. I'll open this one from Fiverr. Okay, welcome to Fiverr Pro. You can see the hero banner here. The call to action. See how it's very distinct. See the email copy. Not too inundating, not too much, conveys the message in as short and concise version as possible. Look at the CTA, very distinct. I can differentiate it from the rest of the text. It is so distinct that even if I am on mobile, which is a very important factor, if I'm on mobile and the rest of the images does not load, I will still be able to differentiate the call to action and I'll still be able to click on it. So the rest of the email, you see another message is conveyed here. See the way it's written. And when they're talking about important numbers, it's bolded to bring my attention to the details in this. Like the way our eyes record messages to our brain, you are able to, within a fraction of a second, to distinguish between something that stands out versus the rest that blends with the background. So now let's run quickly to the footer, which I talked about. See what details is in the footer. It shows where the company it comes from. It gives me an option to unsubscribe. This is one of the most important things. We'll talk about it when we're talking about regulation and compliance. It is the most important thing, and it's the number one compliance message that I will give to you. You must, the footer of your email must contain an unsubscribe link. And it must also contain a link that can help them click and go to your homepage, your website, if it is your Facebook, that is your primary place, somewhere where they can learn more about the company. And also it's best practices that it contains a physical address of your company. Okay. So, okay. So now, let's go back and continue. So we've looked at the primary element of an email, and does your email pass the blink test? As I said earlier, most people decide within a fraction of a second whether the email is worth their attention, is worth them reading it or not. Some on their smartwatch, some just by looking at the preview on their phone, on their mobile to look, okay, what is this email about? So if it cannot answer 3 questions, who is it from? What is it about? Why am I getting it? And those 3 questions should be answered within your pretext, preview. Who is it from? Your sender address, it is very clear. And that's why I said your sender address should be linked to your brand, so it's very obvious that this is from this sender. Secondly, what is it about? Your subject lines should be very clear, concise, related to the content of the email, and clearly tell the receiver what it's about. Your preview, it should also let the keywords and the action words in your preview should be very clear, that will make the receiver know, why am I receiving this email? So within a blink, you should be able to answer that question to your receiver, else you will significantly reduce the probability that your email is going to be opened by anybody. Okay, So next, now that we've seen the primary element of an email, let's move to the next thing. Types of email. So there are different types of emails. When setting up your email, whatever, most email marketing softwares provide all these types of email, provide you with the options of all these type of emails. But I will tell you like the one that is most commonly used and what is globally accepted as the best one. And I will tell you the advantages and disadvantages of all the different types of email. The first one is a text-based email. A text-based email basically mimics, it looks almost like your regular email, the email you send to your colleague, to your friend. It's the advantage of this type of email is even if the person is not in, does not have enough, maybe like mobile data, it's easy because all the messages in text. It loads on almost every device. It's easy to read. It's very concise. And even the call to action, the link for the call to action is in very plain text in a different word. So the major advantage of this one is the deliverability and the ease of people reading it across all devices. Okay. However, this does not allow you to put things like maybe like promotional banners and the likes, and it's a bit more less visually engaging. Let's talk about, I will talk about image-based and flyer-based before I come back to HTML-based emails. Image-based emails, all the copy is designed and incorporated into an image. So the whole email is an image. This is usually very visually appealing. You can input any element into it. But the major disadvantage of this is that they are not usually very responsive. Depending on the email server service provider and the free mail service the viewer is viewing the email from, it might not display properly. And it might distort the position of the call to action button. And this might like hamper your deliverability, the open rate, and the click-through rate. Because if it's not easy for people to view it, especially on mobile, it might be difficult for you to achieve what you wanted to achieve with the email campaign as a whole. Now let's look at flyer style emails. Flyer style emails are also image-based emails. But I'm sure most of us have seen different kinds of flyer before. Imagine the car sales flyer, the garage sales flyer. Imagine any flyer that you've ever received. Maybe you're going on the road. You see how much information, text, image, everything that is on it. That's exactly how a flyer style email is. It is completely built as an image. It's completely image-based. And the disadvantage is the same as that of image-based emails. It's not usually very responsive when people are viewing it on different devices and different email service providers, and you cannot always tell how it will display depending on how and where people are viewing it from. The only advantage is that it usually contains so much more message, just like a flyer. Now let's come to my favorite, which I believe will fast become your favorite as well. Let's see. HTML emails. The good thing about HTML emails is with the advent of HTML emails, it has become very easy for people to design responsive emails. When you build an HTML email, it's easy. It reshapes depending on the device it's being viewed on. So it's easy for you because you don't have to think about, okay, which proportion of this size of this text is going to show on mobile, which proportion, as long as you are using a very good email marketing software, you are able to preview, to look at it and to see how it displays on different devices. And with HTML-based emails, when you're building HTML-based emails and you're using images, always endeavor to add alt text for your images so that in case someone is viewing the, let's say, email on mobile and not all the images have loaded, the alt text can tell the person what the image that hasn't loaded is all about, and you're still able to convey all the messages you want to convey to the person, irrespective of the fact that the email has loaded or not. Okay, so those are the major types of emails. Okay. So now, when we talk about email campaigns, There are different types of email campaigns. What is an email campaign? An email campaign is simple. It's just the act of sending out various types of content, usually commercial, to a group of people who are technically subscribers via email. So email is the channel. The content is the message you're sharing. The subscriber are the audience. And there are different types of email campaigns. They come in different forms. Confirmation emails. Let's say I sign up on MailChimp, for instance, and I get a confirmation. That's a confirmation email. Different things. Or you order something. I order a reading table from StructTube. I order something from Walmart and it confirms that your order has been received, something like that. Or I order food from Supermart and I get a confirmation email that says your order has been received. That's a confirmation. That's an example of a confirmation email. We also have what we call triggered emails. Triggered emails, I find this type of email campaigns very interesting, very useful, and they improve your ROI. What are triggered emails? There are different types of triggered emails, and different email marketing software allows you to do different types of mix of triggered emails from the behavior of your audience, and they can suggest even different other types of triggered email. The most common one most e-commerce stores use is called abandoned carts triggered email. You would notice, let's use an example. Let's say you're trying to buy something or you're browsing on NiWest, for instance, and you put some shoes in your cart. I do it a lot. I don't know if you do it. Sometimes I do not have either the budget or the intention to buy the shoes at that time, but I'm browsing, I like them, and I put them in my cart. And after a while, I leave the website. You see sometimes shortly after you get an email. We still have this in your cart. Different companies have different ways that they develop their abandoned cart email. You find we still have this in your cart, or we're waiting for you, or they even tell you this shoe remains just one. We only have one in stock of this shoe, and that triggers you to go, hey, I want to buy this shoe before it finishes. So it's triggered by technically a triggered email is defined as one that is triggered by your action, the action of a customer, existing customer, a prospective customer, or someone just window shopping like I was on your website. Another example of triggered email will be something called browse abandonment campaign. This is similar to abandoned email campaign, abandoned cart campaign. It's just that in this case, this is probably not an e-commerce store. Maybe you are looking at a website where they do software as a service, and you've browsed through a lot of their pages, and they see in their CRM where you actually stopped, and you abandoned the browsing. So they could send you, they would have probably, depending on, because most CRM systems now serve as both a CRM system and as an email marketing software. An example will be HubSpot, and you can have all that in one place. So there's a CRM system they've said, okay, with people of this behavior, once they get here and if they leave for so amount of time, 1 hour later, send this triggered email. Hey, we saw that you were looking through our blah page and you left it. Would there be anything we would like to help you with? Please reach out to our CEO, even if it's not the CEO. CEO at this will personally help you. That's an example of abandoned browsing email, and it's very similar to abandoned cart email. There are also different types of triggered emails. Sometimes you have provided a lot of information to a company when signing up on their website or when making a purchase, and by eventually they know your birthday, so it's already set in the system that, hey, this person's birthday is on the 5th of June. On 5th of June, send Olabisi a birthday message. It's triggered by the fact that you've already entered that June 5th is your birthday. And every June 5th, you get an email. I'm sure let's say if you live in Nigeria, for instance, I'm sure every of your birthday, if you bank with GTB, you will get a text message and an email from GTB wishing you a happy birthday. It's not because somebody is sitting at their desk and saying, oh, who shall I wish happy birthday today? It's all triggered email. It's all already pre-programmed emails. Yeah, but it also helps you to build your rapport with your customer. They feel it's human nature for you to feel like you're recognized, to feel like someone remembers you really. And what was a particular year that till midday I didn't get any birthday message except for the bank. So yeah, they made my day that year. Yeah. That said, let's talk about marketing campaign, which is the crust of most email campaigns. So there are different types of like marketing campaign email. Sometimes it's done in a series. Sometimes the marketing campaign is to almost like try to position something to a new maybe offering to an existing customer, or sometimes it's to build the perception of an existing product in the mind of the customers. There are different ways. This totally depends on your overall marketing strategy and your overall promotional strategy. But majority, I would say 60% of what we receive as promotions are classified under marketing campaign emails. The next one type of email campaign will be monthly newsletters. For instance, I'm signed up on International Diabetic Association. I'm signed up on different portals. I'm signed up Fierce Marketing, Fierce Pharma. So I receive newsletters from them. Some companies do newsletters monthly, some weekly, some daily, depending on. And so for when you're subscribing, a lot of companies that have more advanced CRM system and email marketing software allows you to choose how often you want to hear from them. So you don't get inundated by several emails. Yes, I want to hear from you. I want to get your newsletter, but I don't want to get it 2 times a day. Okay. So then sales or promotional emails. I'm sure at least almost everyone watching this video has received at least one promotional or sales email today saying, let's say you receive an email from Mountain Warehouse, for instance, and it says, or from someone like some company like Konga, for instance, to say, oh, this item is now 20% off for the next 24 hours, 50% off all shoes, 60% off this. These are tagged as sales or promotional emails. The major objective of that email is to get you to click and make a purchase of a promotional offer. And those emails, the call to action will often lead you to a particular product or category page on the website of the client, of the customer, or the company, sorry. Then we have loyalty emails. Loyalty emails depend. Sometimes some customers you've signed up on, let's say you have an Optimum card. If maybe you live in Canada, you have an Optimum card and you use it on, like, you use it at No Frills, you use it wherever, use it at Shoppers Drug Mart, use it wherever you can use Optimum card. And they send you an email saying things like, gather up to 50,000 points and you can stand a chance to travel to get a ticket, blah, 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 for free. That particular email is not trying to make you make one purchase that is on promo, like sales promotion. It's not trying to introduce a new product to you or explain to you why their brand is better than other, like a marketing email. It is not a triggered email, but it is getting you to continue purchasing things from the group of stores that use Optimum card, so that you can build your points up to that, ensuring loyalty, build your points up to when the advantage to you get to travel for free. That's an example of loyalty email. Then we have autoresponders. I find this very useful, actually. As email marketing softwares evolved to make their autoresponders more intuitive, more personalized, it became much more useful, especially when you maybe have an e-commerce store or you have a website where people can take an action of some sort, maybe contact you or download something from you or sign up for something, sign up for your webinar or something. I find autoresponders very useful. And autoresponders have a higher open rate than regular email campaigns. An example of an autoresponder is a thank you email. You just made a purchase, you just completed a purchase on the website, and you get a thank you email that sounds personal. I can't remember which website I bought something, and I got a thank you email that almost feels like they know me, like it was like someone in store actually said, thank you to me. It's that moment, it actually made me recommend that website to someone else. It might be a fickle effect, but research has shown that autoresponders have a higher open rate than regular emails. Okay, so now let's go to the next item on, let's talk about, we've talked about the different types of email. How do you then do these email campaigns? You have to use a type of email marketing software, and there's so many of them out there. I can't list all of them. I just put some of the most popular ones, popularly used ones here, and I'm going to be telling you about the different advantages they have, the ones that have a free version that you can start with if you're just starting in email marketing, whether you're doing it for your company, you're working in a startup, or you are the owner of the startup, or you have a blog and you're trying to ramp up your email marketing, start from somewhere. We'll talk about the different things they offer you. So we have MailChimp, we have Constant Contact, we have Stripper. Stripper is actually not an email marketing software. It is more of an email template designer, and it integrates very well with different email marketing softwares. So you can basically export your design and make it easy for you to start your campaign. GetResponse and Sendinblue. Okay. So when I talk about MailChimp, MailChimp actually is one of the most popular. Though my first encounter with MailChimp was very annoying, but that's story for another day. Because they can have these chips on their shoulder, like, yeah, we're good and we can treat you anyhow. But I hear they're getting better now that there's so much competition that very much as good as they are. So MailChimp has a free forever basic plan. In this free forever basic plan, you can have one audience. We'll talk about that when we're talking about actually setting up a campaign, because your subscriber list, you can segment your subscriber list and have different kind of audience. What do you say to this type of people? What do you say to this type of people? So it helps you. The free version, you can only have one audience. It doesn't allow you to segment too much into different audience bases, or you have to do that. If you're doing that, you have to do that manually, almost like you download your list, prune it manually, then upload it as another list, as a single audience. We'll talk about that maybe in our next class when we are drilling down on each of these elements of email campaign, and we're moving on from basic to intermediate. So, and it also allows up to a maximum of 2,000 contacts. The free version does not allow you to do more advanced things like measuring engagement metrics, like behavior-based automation, like if someone does this, send this autoresponder. If someone does this, it doesn't allow for that, but allows you get started. 300 emails per day, it's not a joke. For someone that is just starting out, like for a startup, and you have 300 verified subscribers, that's a huge leap, and you can still use MailChimp for free at that level. Then let's look at Constant Contact. Constant Contact does not have a free version, free forever version. However, for all their bouquets, for all their subscriptions, they can give up to 60 days free trial. And of course, you can take advantage of this. They have advanced EMS system. They have different, they can integrate into your social media. They're different. You can, after you are done with this class, you can actually go on almost like 2 or 3 of these EMS and sign up and see what they have to offer, so you can make a decision for yourself. So, and the paid version starts at about $20, $20 USD per month. And it allows for integration, as I said, and to automate emails to maybe non-responders and all those, or non-openers, people that don't open your email. You can send that, or you can resend it and say, if they don't open the email after 2 days, resend this email. There are different things that an EMS offers you. Stripper, as I said earlier, is not really an email marketing software. I just put it here because, especially for, like, if you're just starting out and you're not a design major, you're not so much great in design, you're just someone that does email marketing, and you're more of the strategy and the content behind it, it can help you to build the email template. Although there are also some design sites that are free, like Canva, they can use to design your templates. You can use to design the banner, the header, and things like that. Next, we have GetResponse. Just like Constant Contact, it doesn't have a free forever version as well. but it can give up to a 30 days free trial, and you can try any of its bouquet for free for 30 days. It also has different possible integrations to e-commerce, extensive back-end reporting, and it's actually very good. Next one I have used before, like Sendinblue. Sendinblue is very similar to MailChimp in the sense that it also has a free forever version. Yes, yay, we're like free forever, especially if you're a startup. Work with a startup, or you're just trying to, maybe you have a blog and you're developing your email. So you can take advantage of Sendinblue. It allows for up to 300 emails per day as well, and it has unlimited contact list. And you can upgrade for as low as $27 per month. So I'm sure there's one of these EMS that will be able to fulfill your need for your email campaign. So let's move on. Okay. Setting up an email campaign. Are you as excited as I am? Drum rolls. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's start. So what's the first step when you're setting up an email campaign? Of course, it's a no-brainer. The first thing is you have to determine the objective of the email campaign and what type of audience are you going to be engaging. As with every channel of marketing, the first thing you need to do when you're starting any form of campaign is why? What do I want to gain at the end of this campaign? What do I need to do? What do I want to gain? It might be that you're doing the email campaign because you want to improve awareness about one of your products or about your brand as a company. It might be that you want to improve sign up for your webinar or something. It might be that you want to establish yourself as an industry thought leader. It might be that you want to improve the amount of leads. You want to use it to generate leads to your website. It might be that you want to use an email campaign series to nurture your leads. So it depends. No one can actually train you and say, this is the objective you must follow. This has to follow the overall marketing promotional objective, and this is just one of the channels in that objective. So you have to determine that. After you determine that, let's say your objective of the email is to improve sign up for your webinars, then this would determine the type of audience you're looking at. You're looking at what is your webinar about. Let's say I'm a software company. I sell software that helps people, let's say, deliver training or something like that, deliver online training. And I'm doing a webinar to train people how to build content for their training, for their in-house, in-company training, or training for their clients or something like that. So how do I then determine, out of all my subscribers, who are the target audience for these people, for this type of campaign? So you determine that segment, okay, these ones have already established some form of interest in this product, our product. So we want to help them. Or these ones have gotten to this stage in the funnel, but they haven't crossed over to a purchase yet, and want to include them. So those are the things that goes into you determining what audience are you going to choose for your campaign. The next thing is prepare a list of subscribers. When preparing a list of subscribers, when preparing a list of subscribers, we have to think about, how do you build your list of subscribers? This is actually an in-depth talk that I won't be able to go into all the details, but I'll give some examples that will help a beginner. One of the ways companies grow their subscriber list is maybe by offering a free product, a PDF, a white paper, something that people are interested in, people that they are targeting. Like you release a white paper about how to optimize your social media campaign. And I'm a CRM, and my company is a CRM system. And I know that when people understand how to use CRM system to optimize their campaigns, and they see me as the person providing that information, they are likely to see me as an authority and come to me and buy my CRM system or pay for my CRM system when they need one. So those people that I will target are going to be people that are my potential customers. So I could release a white paper, I could do a webinar, get people's emails. Then you could basically, by sharing valuable content, sign ups. Another way of getting a subscriber list is by co-promotion. Co-promotion, and I will differentiate between co-promotion and sponsored partnerships. Co-promotion, you can co-promote with an existing brand, a brand that probably has followers or audience or customers that you could target as well. So when you co-promote, you are able to allow the brand that is more recognized than you to transfer their identity to your brand, and you are able to get more people to sign up and give you their emails. Sponsored partnership. This one, two companies come together to sponsor a campaign with the aim that they are going to share the leads that are generated from this campaign. Most times, for this to work very well, you know, if you've listened to any of my talks or my posts or my videos that I've shared on my social media, you will realize that I always talk about this a lot, that in this day, in this age that we're in now, collaborate more than you compete. In fact, collaboration is a method of sustainability, especially for small businesses in the industry. So when you collaborate with people that have complementary services or product with yours, you can do a sponsored partnership with them, and you can decide that since we know that people that need your services are also the people that need my services. However, your service is not a replacement for my service. When we do a sponsored partnership, we can share this list and we can both promote to these people. And because they know and they're aware of the different brands because they have signed up by way of the campaign that we did. So that's one, those are the ways you can prepare your build your subscribers list. And let's say you already have your subscribers list, you're ready, you have pruned your subscriber list, you have segmented it, you now have the audience. The next thing you need to do is provide campaign information. Now, when providing this campaign information, there's something very vital when providing campaign information. You name the campaign. We'll do this in the next slide when we're actually doing a demo of a campaign. You name your campaign. Let's say it depends on you. Email marketing, the future of multi-channel engagement, blah, or email marketing campaign, blah. Give your campaign a name. Next thing is sender address, subject line. As I said, less than 50 characters. The personalization of the subscriber's name. Do you want to address them by their first name? Do you want to just say hi? Do you want to personalize it? Do you want to just say, hi, Olabisi, say this? So it depends on how much information you have, how sophisticated the software you're using is, and the type of campaign and the type of engagement you've had, previous engagement you've had with your subscribers. Next thing is preview text. As I said earlier, I've talked about how important the preview text is. Next is the campaign URL. Like maybe that's the URL for the campaign is probably where you would want to push people to. That's where your CTA will lead people to. That's what the action you want them, where you want them to go and take the action you want them to take. So after that, after providing your campaign information, the next thing you do is track and integrate. Okay, this is very important. I always tell people that it is very good and very important that you are able to view all your campaign metrics in one place. And one of the places that affords you the opportunity to do that is Google Analytics. Yep, you heard me right, Google Analytics. So if you're able to tag your email links on your Google Analytics, you will be able to view, in addition to whatever the EMS gives you back end in the matrix, you'll also be able to view the amount of people that clicked, what pages they viewed, where they left from, and to inform how you want to remarket them or retarget these people. Next thing, you choose your layout and build your email. When you're done with this, the next most important thing you need to do is to preview test email. Preview test email sent to, I always recommend that you send your preview to different ESPs, like send to a Yahoo email, a Gmail, maybe a Hotmail or iCloud email or Outlook, one of the popular ones. Then preview on desktop, on tab, on phone, on iPhone. Then use the free mail services. Check how does it appear on the Apple free service mail app on the iPhone. How does it appear on the Gmail app? Or how does it appear on the iCloud? How does it appear on different? So it helps you to know to a very high degree of certainty how your content is going to be shown to the receiver, and if they are going to be able to view it on all the devices, and if they are going to be able to see completely your subject line and your preview text, which are the things that are like your elevator pitch. It's like your elevator pitch it's like almost like, tell me why I should read your email. If your preview was a voice, it would be the voice telling the receiver that, hey, I am so-so sender address. I want to talk to you about so-so, your subject line, because blah, 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 your preview text. So it's like your elevator pitch. So see previewing your test email as seeing, like recording yourself, doing your elevator pitch and saying how you sound. You see how important that is. That is how important previewing your test email is. Then, final thing, you schedule to send. So scheduling to send is very important, because sometimes you build a campaign and the campaign is not to be sent now, because for their statistics out there, we'll probably cover this in our next maybe session to talk about the different types of people in different countries, different regions, different times and different days that you are likely to get the highest open rates from people. So you might want to schedule your email to send at that time. Okay. So, ta-da! We have come to the point where we want to set up a sample campaign, and we are going to use Constant Contact. Okay, so we want to set up an email campaign. I'm using Constant Contact not because this is a promotion for them or anything. I don't have any affiliation with them. I just picked a random one and said, hey, let me use my free trial to do a sample campaign. So let's go. Okay, I'm going to be sharing my screen. Okay, so now we're looking at, this is the login page for Constant Contact. I already have an account. I can click on, remember my username, we log in. If you're starting for the first time, you start with sign up for free. Okay. So where do we want to start from? We want to start from create an email. You can see my trial is counting down. I have 56 days more. Enough time to make amazing training videos. Okay, now these are all the templates, some of the templates they have. So if, for instance, you have already designed your email template in Stripple, for instance, you can just upload it, brand template, or import PDF to email from Stripple. But in this case, I have not designed anything. We're starting everything from scratch. So what kind of email would you like to set up? So we talked about the different types of email, the image-based, the text-based. Let's look at this very simple-looking text-based email. Okay. So let's start from the very basics of a campaign. We name our campaign. What do we call this? Email marketing training 101. Okay, that's the name of our campaign. The next thing we do, we have the from, the sender's address. It is recognizable. You can see that it's from content lead.kickstart reply to. Reply to address is very obvious. This subject, so this is where we want to edit the subject. What subject? Let's say, how to set up an email campaign. There's a missing M. Okay. So your pre-header here, I can say 8 simple steps that helps to set up your campaign faster. Simple. Who is it from? I want to change this to, let me just capitalize this. So it's from Kickstart. See, Kickstart is the company. And voila. We've done what? We have named the campaign. We have done the sender, the subject line, the pre-header, the reply to address. And here you can have another reply to address. If maybe you're sending an email campaign and there are like 2 people, you have 2 employees that are in charge of monitoring the campaign. So we've done that. So here we can edit the image. Let's assume we have some image from somewhere. Let's check the stock. Normally, this will be an image you've pre-designed that is related to your brand. So let's just pick something. I don't even know. Let's pick something related to, let's say, training. Unable to see free results because we don't want to pay for anything. Okay. This looks like this is the closest we can get to training. Done. So we select, insert, customize. So let's insert it. So now the problem is it's not, the padding is more than what is needed. The padding is the white space. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to leave it like this, but normally I would have customized, edited these to fit this space. So it's a simple email where, now this is the body of the email. This is where I get to tell you why you should sign up for these 8 steps. So you go here and edit this. Let's say something. Acquisition. So it has the lowest cost per acquisition, and then I do full stop. The next one, and I say, if you will like to learn the secret to setting up an effective campaign. Click head over to our website to learn more about the 8 steps to an effective email campaign. So the next thing is my call to action, and I want to make the color very distinct. When you're doing call to action, there's something you should be aware of. Things like red background, black text, black background, red text, those things don't work with it. No, please don't use those color combination when you're doing a button, especially when you're doing the HTML based email and you're designing the button for your call to action. Please don't use those color combinations. And please always test it out and see how it works. How easy was it for you to click on it on mobile? How easy was it for you to click on it on desktop? So I remember that and I needed to include that. So I don't want to say thanks for doing business with you. I can say I don't even want to thank you because I don't want to thank you. So my name is from Olabisi Tai, and my company name is Kick That Consult, and website. I don't have that website, but for the purpose of this, I'm just going to say www.kickstartconsult.com. Phone number 888-9900. Okay. Company name again here. Kickstart. Website www.kickstart.com, and here this is the option for you to actually link your web page. So you can create, when you're putting this this URL, you can actually link it so it's easy once they click on it. Okay, so we're done with this part. Then the footer, you remember I told you how important it is, and I also remember to, I don't know if I remember to tell you this, always remember to link your call to action and name it something very recognizable, like read the 8 steps for email marketing. So I can link it. Okay, landing page. Okay. The landing page. We don't have a landing page. That's the problem. We don't have a website. But always remember to link it to your landing page. And this will be the text. So always remember to link your call to action to your landing page. So here, unsubscribe, as I said, is very important. Update your profile helps you to keep your list, your subscribers list up to date, their preferences up to date, and for you to always have a clean list. About this will be about your company. This will, here you will say about blah. sent by Content Lead that's in collaboration with, this is because it's a trial version. Okay, so now let's preview. See how it looks. So now let me put an email address. I'm going to put the same email address, content lead dot kickstart at gmail.com. So, okay, so this is how it looks on desktop. This is how it looks on mobile. And can you see how easily it was for it to to what's the word now? Yeah, to change from desktop to mobile. And it's very readable. See how the image wrapped and became longer in mobile, and see how the text wrapped around. So imagine if I had not segmented this text and I just made one long block of text because I only viewed it on desktop. See how it's going to look on mobile. It's going to look almost unreadable. It's just going to be one long block of things, and people don't usually read like that. Okay, so we're done with preview. So let's check on preview. Let's send text. Let's send test email. Okay, this is the person we're sending it to. No personal message, just test. Voila. So let's go check my email and see if I have gotten the email. Yeah. So I got a mail from me to me, but so can you see report spam, look safe. When you just start out your email campaign, most times it will look like this. So imagine if the content is not relevant, the person does not even remember where they subscribe to your email list. They don't recognize the brand. They're of course going to click on report spam. But here we know the sender, so we click on look safe. Marked not suspicious. So this is how it looks. Here is our email. If I had linked this call to action button, it would have been clickable. You can see the website is clickable. The website is clickable here, and the unsubscribe link should be clickable as well. And I have to be able to click it. And I have not, this one I was not able to click it because I did not build in an unsubscribe form. That's it will be like a landing page where it will take you to, if you have ever tried to unsubscribe to anything. But basically, at the very basis of it, this is the way to set up an email campaign. And I hope you've been able to learn one or two things from it. So, Lindsay, let's continue with our... So we're back here. So we've set up the email campaign. Let me know when you're sending me comments, whether you're seeing these via a WhatsApp channel or my YouTube channel, or you just get in the video and you see my email. You can let me know if you have any questions on what we just did now. Okay. So the next thing we need to talk about is regulation. So whether you're compliant or not is going to make a difference between, like you see what I just did when I clicked on the email and say looks safe. If you do not follow the compliance guidelines, the percentage of people that are going to click your email as unsafe is going to be high, and you stand a lot to lose. Your integrity score starts going down. And once your integrity score starts going down, most email service providers will move your email to spam even before the receiver sees it. So it's already in spam. Tell me, how many of you goes to your spam to go and read, hey, today is my spam day. I want to go and read promotional emails in my spam. Almost no one, but yeah. So now let's look at the footer information. For you to be able to comply, you have to have, number one, a physical address of the company. You saw where there was this place under, and the address was almost like, the address was just Canada. But you have to have a physical address, because this happened because this was just a test email, and we actually do not have content built to use to send this campaign. This was just for training purpose. So you have to have a physical address of the email of the company. Some people, like startups, do not comply with this. For best practices, as I said, and to improve your deliverability, I would say to always try to include this. And the next line is the most important thing. My people, a link to unsubscribe. Imagine if you start getting a campaign from an address and there's no link to unsubscribe. Would you not feel like your account has been hacked, or someone is trying to take over, or something phishing? You are most likely going to report the email to your email service provider, or find a way to report the sender one way or the other. So a link to unsubscribe also helps you in your subscribers list. It helps you to maintain a current list of people that are interested in hearing from you, in reading what you have to offer. Always include a link to unsubscribe. In fact, most email marketing software will not allow you to exclude this part from it. Then at the bottom, the footers, you also want to put, if this is optional, you want to put your social links, your icons. Kickstart is available, is on Instagram, is on Twitter, is on Facebook. But did I put the link? No, but in best practices, put the link so people can learn more about your company via various channels, and it improves the amount of ways that they will know more about you and learn to trust you. Also, the reason for the email at the bottom, where it says in conjunction with constant contact, where there you will say something like, you are receiving this email from Kickstart because you have signed up for our email marketing training series, something like that. It helps to like joggle the memory of the receiver to say, why am I receiving this? Where did I subscribe for this? And they will say, oh yeah, this is part of that thing, that training I subscribed for, and reduces your chances of being moved to junk, to spam. Okay, then a link to the main website or homepage. You saw that I added www.kickstartconsult.com, even though it wasn't existing. Also a link to add address to the contact book. You also see that we added a link to manage your profile. How, when best practices, when you're setting up your campaign and setting your unsubscribe and page for subscribers to manage their profile, give them the chance to say how often they want to hear from you. It will also help you. It will help you to, when you're doing your campaign and when you are sending out to audiences, it's like an audience that you already know that they want to hear from me, and they want to hear from me at about this time. So that's about the compliance part of it. Now when we come to regulation, so imagine if there was no regulatory body guiding how these information, people's information is being used, people's data is being shared across countries. We don't know how much of a breach would have happened, much more than what we're seeing today. So we have the CAN-SPAM Act, which is in effect in the United States. And if you are sending an email to anybody, you're sending an email to someone in the United States, or you're sending from the United States, you need to acquaint yourself with every detail of the CAN-SPAM Act. The next one, I'll also give you details of the CAN-SPAM Act. One of the things they say is always include the originating email address in the email. We've talked about the sender's address. It's important because who is sending me this email? You must not use deceptive subject lines. Deceptive subject lines are things that you think, oh, this person might want to see this subject line, but it's not even related to the content of the email or why they're receiving the email. Yes, you might get the attention of the person for the first time, but straight to the left, to the junk, to the spam. We don't want to be in spam, we want to be in inbox. So you are not going to do this, whether you are sending to someone in the United States or sending to anybody anywhere else. You should not use deceptive subject lines. You also need to disclose your emails as ads, because when you're running an ad, it needs to be disclosed so that they can differentiate the email campaign from a transactional email, maybe a receipt. And you need to be careful and don't use gimmicks like, okay, since the rules that apply to a transactional email are slightly different, should I include my marketing message, you're trying to be savvy kind of thing there? Should I include my transactional, like a promotion in my transactional email? Be careful with that, because if you do that, then they'll start treating your transactional email as ads, which then reduces the integrity of your transactional emails. If you're going to be sending promotional emails, send promotional emails separate. If you're going to be sending a transactional email, let it be clear and concise without any element of promotion within the transactional email. Okay. So the next one, what they also said is you should include a clear opt-out method. It's very important. We said it before. Whether you're sending to someone in the United States or outside the United States, it's a no-brainer. Make sure it's easy for people to opt out, to unsubscribe from your mailing list. And also apply this, complete the opt-out process promptly. Don't then, when they click unsubscribe, don't they say, if you unsubscribe something, don't make it difficult for people to unsubscribe. I immediately unsubscribe. Please remove them from your list, else you will hear from the CAN-SPAM Act. Then there's the next one, the California Anti-Spam Law in the United States. This applies to everybody sending email, doing any campaign within California, state of California, or whether you are doing it from or send it to someone too. So, but overall, you need to look at all these laws and acts as a whole. Most of them say the same thing with maybe semantics, differences in what they say. But if you are compliant as a whole with this, you would not have to worry that, hey, one of my subscriber lists have moved from New York to has moved from Chicago, Illinois to California, and I need to change how I send email to the person. But if you are compliant with all these global laws, it will help you to stay in check wherever your subscribers are from. The difference in this covers all the emails from and to California, as I said. It ensures that opt-outs are removed promptly. Immediately someone unsubscribes from your list, please remove the person immediately from your list. If you do not do that, there's actually a fine, up to $100 per email. Imagine you send 1,000 emails. The rest, they say, is history. 100 multiplied by 1,000. Let's not talk about it. And let's not talk about the fact that some large campaigns from large organizations get to up to 10,000 contacts. We're not going to do the calculations here because we are not going to be caught on the other side of the law. Amen? Amen. So, this law can actually even fine you if somebody subscribes on your behalf. So you can actually report that I don't want to receive this. Like, let's say you have a friend and the friend thinks, oh, my friend is working in advertising, and these series of webinars or series of email she'll find it useful, and you subscribe for your friend. The company can still get to pay a fine, despite the fact that somebody subscribed, but it wasn't the person receiving the email. Yeah, you get the gist. And our very own Canada anti-spam law. Yes, we have the anti-spam law too, and it's very similar in nature to the CAN-SPAM Act of the United States. You cannot, it's explicitly stated, you cannot send an email to someone who has not explicitly opted into your mailing list. You can't, you know, a lot of things that people do, especially in the developing world, you buy something and they automatically check the box for you. So you are not the one that actually checked the box. They automatically check the box for you that says, send me promotional emails. The worst ones are the ones that even check the box for you and say, send me share my information with third party or something like that. So they are able to share your data with third party. So if you're not careful, you won't realize that the box is checked and to uncheck the box. So best practices is to say, if you're going to use or use the data shared with you in a way that is not explicitly stated, you have to make the box unshared. You have to ensure that people read it and are able to say, yes, I want to receive communication from you in this way. So that's Canada. And this Canada anti-spam law actually covers all electronics form of communication, not just email marketing. And if you do not comply, I love Canada, you can get fined up to $1 million as an individual or up to $10 million as a company. We don't want to do that, do we? So the next one is GDPR. That's the General Data Protection Regulation. It applies to European countries. So if you're sending email to or from anybody in Europe, you have to read these extensively. All these laws and acts are available. You just type them in Google, you see the extensive PDF, and you can read them, get yourself acquainted with them, especially if you want to build a career in email marketing. You don't want to be on the other side, on the wrong side of the law. So one of the reasons the GDPR was born is an acknowledgement of the fact that the digital economy should operate with the informed consent of users, and it should set clear rules for companies who seek to do business in the European Union. So I will encourage you to look for this and get yourself acquainted with it. So apart from all these regulations and laws, each email service providers also has its own set of rules and algorithms that determines which email would get delivered to the inbox of the person, which one goes to promotion, which one goes to the junk or to the spam. And some of the things that you need to do as an email marketing specialist or as someone developing an email campaign is to ensure you do the following. First of all, as much as possible, avoid words in your subject line that sounds like, hey, breakthrough, wonder, medications, your mortgage money back, click here, buy now. Those things trigger spam filters. And when you use those words, to the left, your message might get to spam faster than it got delivered. Okay, so the next thing you should also avoid is avoid using all caps email subject lines. It's to like amateurs, it sounds like, oh, this will look like urgent. It will make people want to read the email. Yeah, it can capture some people for the first time, but it also increases the possibility of moving you to where? To the left, to the spam. We don't want to be there. We want to be seen in the inbox, and we want to be delivered when they will be relevant. Also, writing like too many of your email copy in caps or using different colors or different fonts just because you want to highlight something. When you use different email like design templates, the options are there for you. Use all the colors, but be careful. Limit your options, apart from the CTA, you limit your color combinations to 2 maximum, okay? And also be careful that you follow the tags when you're designing HTML, the H1 tag, the H2 tag in terms of the titles, so that it helps the reader to see the hierarchy of the message that, okay, this is the heading. Okay, this other one is under this one. We're still talking about something under this heading. So it kind of makes them make logical sense out of what you are telling them in the email. Then you need to avoid using too many HTML tricks to avoid the spam triggers. And finally, what I also want you to know is that if you do not practice all these best practices of avoiding spam filters, if you try to get away with it and you score very high on your spam score, your email gets thrown out. We don't want that, so it's very important. Okay. So all that said and done, how do you measure your email? So this is a whole class by itself, and I will be willing to take it in maybe like 2 classes down the line about measuring your email, what to measure, the formulas to use. Sometimes which analytics software helps you to break it down, how to analyze the different types of audience and why one audience did better than this, different types of campaign. And I will always say when you are comparing campaigns, always compare like to like. And when I say like to like, it's the same audience, it's similar campaigns around the same time, because when you do a correlation, I don't want to speak too much grammar, but at an advanced level, you're beginning to do a correlation of different factors. Why did this campaign do better than this? What are the other factors that came to play? But let's, for now, for the purpose of this class, let's keep it simple. Your email marketing software will provide you, the basics they will provide you with at least is your deliverability. You're in talking about deliverability to tell you the amount of the email. Let's say you sent 100,000 emails, the number that bounced, the numbers that got delivered. And the next thing it will also show you is the open rate. And now here you have to be careful. The open rate is not really something I recommend for people to use as a matrix to measure success of an email campaign. Yes, your EMS will show you an open rate, but that open rate is not always very accurate. How does your EMS calculate your open rate? It is because it calculates it like when you set up an email, most times there is an image. So when the image loads, it calls this on the website and counts the email as open. But there are times when people open their email on their mobile device and they don't download the image. The EMS might not record this as an open rate. So your actual open rate might be higher than what you see at the back end of your reporting as open rate. You look at it, but don't use it as a measure of too much. So this is why it's also very important when you include a CTA, a call to action, and tag your call to action links for your landing page to your Google Analytics, because this helps you to measure things, to do like a drill down of your campaign, to measure things that are more tangible than open rate. Then you can measure the next thing called click-through rate. Click-through rate, how many people clicked on your call to action? Although your EMS will show you this, but when you also tag this to your Google Analytics, you will also be able to know how many people clicked it, how many people left once they landed on the home page. Did they also view other pages? How long did they stay in one single session? There are so many things that can be measured when you do this. So click-through rate, I believe, is a more significant and useful measure of measuring the success of your campaign. And the most important thing, especially when it's a sales promotion, a marketing email, is money, 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 revenue or sales, especially when this email campaign is coming from an e-commerce store or coming from a company selling services that you can measure your people entering your funnel through your CRM. You want to measure this email campaign. How many leads did this thing generate for us? How many of them led to sales? And you can look at it and calculate your ROI. Let's say you did a campaign that cost you $10,000 over a period of over a period of 1 month, and you were able to get, let's say, clients that were worth 100,000. What is your ROI? So then you need to, what's your ROI and what's your cost per acquisition? So you need to divide to calculate your cost per acquisition, the total number of clients that this campaign brought. Let's say 100 clients are responsible for that 100,000 sales that you got. 100 clients divided by 10,000 will give you the number that it costs to acquire one person. Then your ROI is your return on your investment. If the total sales brought in minus how much you spent to acquire. And when you are saying how much you spent to acquire, you have to take on everything. What's your cost of design, cost of building content, how much you pay your CRM, how much you pay your EMS, how much, everything it costs as a whole to do the whole campaign for the period that the campaign ran for and before you realized your sales. So those are the ways to measure the success of your campaign. And in our next class, I'm sure we'll be able to drill down at each of these elements of measuring, because each one of them, in fact, this is what differentiates a good marketer from a bad marketer. How are you measuring? Because it's not just a tumbo, which one should I pick? It's not a random selection, because a great marketer would able to drill down to the scientific basis of why is this campaign working versus the other. Is it that this has a better design? This has a better deliverability. Why? Am I sending this at the wrong time? Just oppose them, and we'll be able to talk about those factors better. But at the basis, like for someone just starting out, these are things you need to watch out for. Okay, that said, I know I've said a lot of things, but there's so many things that needs to be learned about email marketing. I could cover a lot of them over subsequent classes, but I would also advise that the thing about different elements of digital marketing is that you learn best when you read, learn, apply, read, learn, apply, read, learn, apply. It helps you to build your knowledge better, cement it, and of course, helps you to build your portfolio as well. So I would recommend these additional sources of reading. A very useful place to learn is the HubSpot Academy. There's so many courses there. You can do their inbound, because email marketing can be a form of inbound to attract, engage, delight. So those are, it's a form of inbound marketing. It can be a form of inbound marketing. And there's so many courses also that you can do specifically for email marketing on HubSpot. And there are different other websites. As I get more, I would share. If you want me to continue to share resources with you, please send me an email at my email address and let me know that you want to receive more resources from me. So Now, assignment time, assignment time. Do you want to do more? Yep. A class is not complete if you don't get to take away some work to do to practice what you've learned. So my first question to you would be, using any email marketing software of your choice, it doesn't matter. You can say you want to use Sendinblue. In fact, you can use any one that I did not mention in the course of this training. It's your choice. Prepare a welcome email for people who signed up. Imagine if you have a blog, or if you have a blog. So this should not stop you. Whether I don't have a blog, it doesn't matter. Imagine if you have a blog. Prepare a welcome email for people who signed up in your blog and send to a list of subscribers. These subscribers can be your friends, your relative, your colleagues, whatever. It's just to test how this looks and to practice a campaign. Send it to a list of subscribers, record the steps you took, and what did you learn in the process? I want to know in your comments to my email, what did you learn in the process? What would you do better in your next campaign? The next question, assume you are the email campaign specialist at a retail fashion startup. Prepare an email series, topic of your choosing. Let the series be a series of at least 3 emails for people who have made their first purchase for your store. The objective of this email series to be loyalty series. Record what you did. Let me know what you learned. So you can send all this. You can include me in your campaign list, subscriber list, so that I can see. Just make sure that when you're previewing, include a note so that I know who it's from, and or at least include a reply to, so I can reply with my feedback about your campaign. So you can send all your design emails and any questions to me at contentlead.kickstart@gmail.com. Thank you so much. If you want to contact me, my email address, as I've said before, is contentlead.kickstart@gmail.com. You can also send me all your questions, your feedback. And if there are any topics you want me to drill down on in the next class, please let me know in your email to me as well. Or if you're seeing this via a WhatsApp channel, WhatsApp group, or on my YouTube, just drop the comment wherever you see this. And you can also learn more about me on my LinkedIn page, and that's the link there. Thank you. Till we see again next time. It was nice talking to you all. Bye.